Hi guys, long time no see again. It's been a long time since I've last filmed, and a lot has happened since I last filmed, and shit's just been crazy. But you know, I wanted to come back to my channel and hopefully be more regular, but we'll get there. But I just wanted to come back to my channel because I recently turned 22. Yes. So with turning 22, I took a lot of time to reflect on just myself and life, and just kind of enter like that midlife crisis, even though I'm not at midlife yet. I've been consuming a lot of YouTube videos that were like 25 things I wish I knew before I turned 25, or like 20 things I wish I knew. Like, you get the vibe. So I kind of wanted to do something similar, and I wanted to do 22 things that I learned in my 22 years of life. 22 years of life is a long time, so most of these come from like adulthood and more like 19 to 20s, but I still wanted to share those because that's still included in my lifespan. And I wrote everything down because you guys know I will forget everything while I'm filming, so I wanted to make sure that nothing is forgotten, and I just wrote it all down in my notebook. So if you see me staring at it, that's exactly why. If you're new here, hi, I'm Essie. Thank you for visiting my channel, or revisiting if you're still subscribed. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first point is that time will not wait for you. There's plenty of time in life, but there's also no time at all. And I feel like I used to be in that mindset of, oh my god, there's no time. And there's still time for lots of things, especially serious things like kids and marriage and all those things. There's plenty of time for that, guys. Please, there's plenty of time for that. But in terms of just goals that you have, or things that you want to do or explore or experience, there's no better time than now. Because guess what? You're gonna turn whatever age you're turning next year, and you're gonna be like, wow, that year flew by. I didn't do any of the shit that I wanted to do. And I know that because I was like that. And I'm like, dang, I'm 22 and I still want to do da-da-da-da. So time is precious, and next year is not guaranteed. So do everything you can to just experience everything as soon as you can, and in the best capacity that you can. Number 2 is that some people are seasonal and temporary, and that was a hard pill to swallow, because there were some people I was like, bro, we're gonna be friends for life, like we're gonna be good, like, you know, this is a set friendship. Safe to say I've not heard from them for like 6 months. But though sometimes, you know, you get in situations where maybe someone didn't treat you well, someone treated you poorly, and you're just like, damn, like they were my friend, like why would they do that? Why would they treat me like that? And I'm convinced, whether you're religious or not, like for me personally, I was like, you know what, maybe God heard conversations that I wasn't there for and just removed those people out of my life, and they were meant to be there for this part of my life, but they're not meant to follow me into the next part of my life. So, you know, there's some people that like truly are meant to be there for a phase, but are not meant to be there for the continuation of you. And that's okay, because guess what? On the next continuation, there's going to be new people who come in, and maybe there'll be people who stay, or maybe they'll also be seasonal. But either way, if those people are removed from your life, especially for a reason that you can't understand, then it's good to just think of it as one of those seasonal people, and understand that they served a great purpose while they were there, but moving forward, you're going to grow and continue to become a better person while they stay behind. And that leads me into number 3, which is that sometimes people are not what you think, which sounds a little like weird, but sometimes you think about people's potential, and you think about the person that they can be and the person that maybe they have been at some point, but then you realize later, like, you are so sucked into like what they could be that you're not focused on who they are. And that can be really detrimental, because maybe you could, you know, have high hopes for someone, but they keep repeating their bad behaviors, or they keep treating you badly, or whatever it might be. And you have to really just look at people for who they are. Like, when they show you, let that be it. You know, don't try to make excuses for other people, or to try to think, oh, well, maybe they'll change in this much time, or maybe it'll be different, because what it is what it is, and you can't change that about them. Number 4, nobody will create your dream life for you. Nobody will create your dream life for you. Wake it up. No one will create your dream life for you. This one is something that I have known for a very long time. You can watch as many TikToks as you want, as many motivational YouTube videos as you want, this is video as much as you want, but at the end of the day, the only person who is responsible for their future and their destiny is you. You. People will sit behind a screen and be like, wow, look at that person's life, it looks so fun, like I want to be like. Then get up and do it. Get up and do it. I understand that there are some things, like maybe financial reasons that you can't do something, or maybe that person that you're looking at came from money and they can just do stuff because their family's got it like that. But those are those nuances that you have to understand, like, hey, you know, they were afforded this life and that's really cool, but that doesn't mean I can't have it too. Even if I might have to work a little bit harder, I can still get that. So don't count yourself out, and understand that, like, if you want the life that you want, you have to do the steps to get there. If you want to be someone who wakes up at 7 a.m. every day, you better set that alarm every day. If you want to go to the gym every day, you better start going. Go twice a week, and then increase it, and then go 4 times a week, and then increase it, and then go 5 times a week. And you'll see how quick things become habits for you. Your life is really not that unattainable, and I think people dream very big, and then they're just kind of like, oh, but that won't happen. Well, now it's not going to, because you've already set that thought into motion, so now it's really not going to happen. And, you know, I've always been an overly, like, ambitious kid, but it's because, like, who's going to stop me? Who's going to tell me no? And if someone tells me no, then what? I'm going to keep doing it. So don't stop. Keep going. Whatever life you want, you can make it for yourself. It is very, very possible. Number 5, everybody is struggling. Everybody's struggling. Especially in this economy, everyone is struggling. If you live in America, yeah. Literally, like, you're not the only person. And I think it's important to remember that, because I think I was out with a friend and she was telling me, like, oh yeah, my family, like, we all wanted to do this, but, like, we don't really have any money right now. And it really made me think, like, okay, so we're all broke, which, hey, it is what it is. When you graduate college, you gotta play catch up. So yeah. But yeah, it really made me think. And then, you know, I'll talk to another friend, they're like, oh yeah, like, this is super expensive now. Or I'll talk to a friend and they're, you know, working on paying off debts. And, like, not even just financially, but, like, that's just an example. Like, there is always someone struggling. And when you look on social media and you look up to people and you're like, wow, I want to be like them, I want to do this, people are going to post, for the most part, the best parts of their life. They're going to post the most exciting things. They're going to post the best things that's happening, but they're not going to post those struggles that they're having behind the scenes. And that's why comparison is something to avoid, because you never know what that person is going through behind the scenes. All you see is what's behind your phone. Number 6, embarrassment is not real. I've talked about this before, but, like, embarrassment, something is only embarrassing if you let it embarrass you, pretty much. Like, you cannot be embarrassed if you don't get embarrassed, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of people who let the fear of embarrassment stop them from trying something new or doing something. They're like, oh, I don't want to go eat alone because it's embarrassing. How? Just don't let it embarrass you. Like, it just doesn't. If you're not bothered, it won't bother you. And I think embarrassment is an emotion that you apply to other people and then project onto yourself. And what I mean by that is you might say, hey, I don't want to go do this because it's embarrassing. What makes something embarrassing? What people look at you? People might talk about you. People might, you know, but you're so busy perceiving what other people might do that makes you feel a sense of embarrassment, when in reality, if you don't care, you can't be embarrassed. So honestly, who cares? We're all cringe at some point. Be cringy, because that same stranger is not going to remember you tomorrow. So don't let other people stop you from doing the things that you want to do and you want to try. Number 7, you're not weird, you just gotta find your people. Now, I'm someone who has been through many, many, many phases of my life. I've been through my emo phase. I've been through my anime phase. I've been through my K-pop phase. I'm still in my K-pop phase. I've been into a lot of things. Like any phase you could probably think of, I've probably experienced it. I've always been very shameless about it. I've never cared what someone had to say, because when you truly enjoy something, I feel like you can always find community in it. And there is always going to be someone who likes the same thing. And that's not to say that you need to find validation in other people liking it, but there's just someone for everyone is kind of how I put it. And, you know, don't be afraid to dive into something, because I promise you might find the best communities out of those things. Number 8, don't take advice from anyone you wouldn't swap places with. I feel like that goes without saying, but if someone is giving you advice and saying, hey, you should do this, or hey, you should live like this, or you should do that, if you would not switch places with that person and live in their shoes, don't do it. Don't take advice from anyone you would not want to swap places with. Number 9, doing things solo is okay. And that goes back to the piece about embarrassment, where doing things by yourself can be really fun. And you know, for me, I think I would spend so much time waiting on someone to go do something, like, oh, I want to go here, but I need someone to come with me, or I want to try this restaurant, but I need someone to come with me. And I realized for a long time it held me back from doing a lot of things, because I was so busy waiting and waiting and waiting. And, you know, eventually I just realized, like, no one really cares that much. Again, if you don't get embarrassed, it doesn't matter. But I just realized waiting on other people was limiting me from experiencing life, and I did not like that. So, you know, just baby steps, just grab something to eat quick. Like back when I was in school, I would just go to a little restaurant on campus and just get myself something to eat, get myself some ramen, and just start there and then keep building. Number 10, money can run your life, and it is what it is. I think a lot of people are like, oh, don't let money run your life, like it's okay, like it just you can always get more money, it always comes back, and while that's true, I think it's also insensitive to tell people to not let it bother them. You know, I think we live in a world where money runs everything. Like now, even if you want to go out on this little fun adventure with your friends, you better have money in that pocket, because there's an entry fee, or, you know, whatever it might be. And I think we should continue to validate people who have, you know, like anxieties about that. I know, like, I'm graduated now, but when I was a student, it was something that was really heavy, because, you know, you're in school, so you can't really work much, but at the same time you want to enjoy life, but you can't enjoy life unless you have money. And there's just so much going on, and people get so sucked in the, like, oh, like, it's not that deep, like money isn't everything. And while it is not, it's very important to recognize that not everyone is in the same boat, and for some people it is something that causes them everyday stress, and that is okay. Number 11, jealousy is pointless. It's a normal emotion, but it's kind of pointless. I was never really like a jealous person much. But I definitely would have moments where I'm like, wow, like, I wish I had like what this person has, or oh, I wish I had this trait that this person has. But over time, I think it just goes back to the point I made about how you never know what someone has going on. And then I would hear myself, like, I'd hear people say to me, like, oh, like, you know, I'd love to live like your life, or I'm jealous of you, and I'm like, me? And I'm saying that because I'm the one who lives my life. And, you know, you gotta think the same about other people. Like, they might think there's nothing to be jealous of because you don't know what's going on in their life. So remember, like, jealousy is unnecessary, because you never know. You never know what's going on. Number 12, stand for something, advocate for something. I can't stand a person who doesn't have a backbone and doesn't advocate for anything. Like, you can't stand up for human rights. You can't stand up for, like, up to people. You're a people pleaser, which, like, I get it, happens sometimes, but like, you just can't speak for yourself. You complain to other people, but you do nothing to change it. You don't even stand up for yourself. I hate that. Cut it out right now. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Number 13, become close with your heritage. I think growing up, like, as a kid, I was really close to one side of my heritage, which was like my West African Ghanaian heritage on my father's side, but I feel like it wasn't until later till I got to really connect with my Caribbean side. And it's beautiful and I love it and it's so fun, and I'm like, damn, like, where was this at? And you know, it is just because, like, one side of my family isn't particularly close, so we don't have as many gatherings and things together, but you know, I did take it upon myself to just explore and understand and learn more about it, and hopefully I can, like, go and visit. Speaking of visiting, number 14 is travel more. Now again, there's cost that goes into that, but traveling is a great investment. I think being well traveled really gives you more perspective on the world, and I studied abroad in Korea in 2024, and it was like the best decision I ever made in my life, and it really showed me, like, you know, that there's more to the US, and I did talk about that in a previous YouTube video already, but I feel like when you live in the United States, there's a lot of propaganda. This is the best place to be, and there's still so much more to see and so many beautiful things about other beautiful countries. So I think it's very important to get out and explore the world and see what it has to offer, and I definitely want to continue to do that. 15, life cannot be a movie every day. It just can't. A lot of life is going to be regular, degular, boring, and that is okay. I think it's so easy to see what everyone's doing and be like, oh my god, my life needs to be exciting. This needs to be happening. Today's such a boring day. Rest. Just rest. Most days, it's gonna be the same. I have the same routine almost every day. 9 to 5, I go to work, and then I come home. That's it. Like, life cannot always be this shocking, crazy movie. Like, there are just some days that are chill, and that's how most people live. And I'm not saying to be like everyone and not to go out and enjoy your life and explore and have fun, but don't be too hard on yourself on those days where it is just regular, degular. And you learn to appreciate it, because sometimes life gets tiring and you don't always want to be out doing stuff. Number 16, cut out the people that you feel like are monitoring spirits. I feel like that's a term that's been going around lately, but it is very true. And for those who don't understand what that means, monitoring spirits are people who are in your life, but they don't have your best interest at heart, and they keep you around and they monitor the things that you do, and they watch the things you do. And it's not because they're proud of you or because they want to see you succeed, but because, like, sometimes they're plotting on you and they're plotting on your downfall and they're waiting to see you fail, and that is not good. So if you ever feel like there's someone in your life where you're like, like, they really just, like, they don't really engage with me, they just kind of like watch my stuff, and you're just giving your energy and parts of your private life to them, forget it, because you don't need that, and you never know who's watching, you never know what their intentions are. Number 17, the things that you have can vanish very quickly. That is a pretty cliche saying that, you know, you don't know what you have till it's gone, but it really is the truth. For those of you who don't know, I went through a house fire back in August, which is why I haven't really posted much, and it was very, very difficult for myself and for my family, and it really made me realize that everything you own, no matter how safe you think it is in your home, can still end up being gone. And you know, we lost a lot of things, luckily no lives, but it really makes you think like, wow, like these material things can just be taken away from you in any second, and that's just what it is, and that's just what it's gonna be. So the most you can do is just try not to invest so much of your life and your energy into material, because that same material can be gone tomorrow. Number 18, surround yourself with people who cheer you on. If you have a goal that you're wanting to reach, you want to make sure that there are people around you who are there to support you and to cheer you on and to give you good words and just overall are there to see you succeed. I think it's very, very important. That goes back to the monitoring spirits. You don't want those people who are just lurking and seeing what you're doing, but they don't really say they're proud of you, or they don't really, they don't really support you. Whether you're making content, whether you have a new job, whether you are getting married, having a child, like whatever it might be, make sure to surround yourself with people who want to see you win. That is very, very important. Even when I started this channel and a lot of like my hobbies and things I like to do, I had to make sure that the people I was exposing to these things were people who truly like wanted to see this for me and wanted to see this outcome for me. 19, post-grad will feel lonely. I graduated from university in May of 2025 and it is March of 2026, so almost a year, and it definitely has felt very isolating. I moved back home with my parents, so I'm a little bit away from campus, not super far, but still quite a bit away. And it was odd because I graduated a year early, so a lot of my counterparts weren't done with school yet, or they were, but they also moved back home and were quite far. So that was something that was kind of hard to grapple with, and I was trying to figure out how to live a life without extracurriculars, because I was so used to doing things after class and finding things to do on campus. So trying to figure out how to navigate life without having the constant social connections or extracurriculars or events going on is really difficult, especially when you're someone who likes to make friends and likes to make connections. Now you're thrown in the real world and you have to figure out, okay, how do I make friends in my 20s now? Like, how do people do that without maybe going to a club, or maybe, putting yourself in environments that you don't really care to be in much? So I just had to really figure that out and navigate it, and I think I'm still navigating it. But one thing that I've done to really help me is I reached out to a lot of old friends, which sounds like kind of crazy, but now my nail tech, I went to elementary school with her and we chat a lot, and I found phone numbers of friends from elementary, and I'm like, hey guys, like, let's go to brunch, let's catch up. And just trying to continue to expose myself to new people and get to know new people and be open to friendship, so it feels a little bit less lonely. And that leads me into 20. Maintaining friendships as an adult is a bit challenging. And I think a lot of people say this, but it really is true. When you are in school, it is easy to maintain your friendships because you see each other every day. You see each other all the time. You're always at events, like forced proximity, so you're always seeing each other. But once you really go into adulthood and you guys begin working and living real lives, people have their own place, people have their own jobs, people have schedules, like they're paying bills, like now shit is serious. So it takes real effort to continue to nurture your friendships, because for me personally, like now we got to schedule things out. Like we got to schedule our hangouts, like, hey, are you busy on this day next month at this time? And you got to make sure that you make time for the people that you care about, because it's very easy in adulthood to kind of get lost in those friendships, and it's nobody's fault, unless they're actively ducking you. But we're all just busy people, and that's just what it is. But if you want to keep those things going, even just sending like a check-in text, or maybe one day you just decide, hey, like, let's do a phone call, let's FaceTime, or whatever it might be. Just making sure that you're putting in the real effort, because now you're not confined to the same space anymore. Number 21, putting yourself first is not inherently selfish. I think it is. If you are the therapist friend at any point in your life, it may have been hard to kind of put yourself first, because you're always considering the feelings of everyone else, making sure everyone else is okay and good, and that everyone else is taken care of. but I want you to know that putting yourself first and your well-being and your mental health first is not a bad thing. You cannot help someone else if you can't help yourself. So it is very important to make sure to take care of yourself, both physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that, before you try to help other people. And it is great to be there for other people, and it is really nice to have, you know, you or whoever to lean on, but just understand that it is not a crime to say, hey, I need to take care of me right now, but you know, I'm still here to support you. My last one, number 22, is to hold your loved ones close. I think that just goes without saying. Like, you never know when it's your last day and when it's someone else's last day, and I think everyone just gets so caught up in the hustle and grind culture that we forget what's right in front of us. And I've just, you know, really wanted to make it a point to continue to show up for the people I love and, you know, remind them that I love them. So that would definitely be my 22nd thought, I guess. I am so glad to be back, and I'm happy that I was able to post a video today. If you guys liked this type of thing, just let me know and maybe I'll keep doing something along those lines. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and you know, I hope to see you guys all again soon.